topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Triversity Talk. I am Wendy Stewart Kaplan and a very special co-host tonight. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Evan Laurence.
The infamous Evan Laurence. How are you doing this evening, Evan?
I'm doing great. I'm so busy getting ready for Jersey City Pride and a bunch of shows coming up. And I've also been selected to make headdresses for Joe Giambaptista's production of Cold Blooded in the fall.
Get out. That's new news. Wow. I have to tell you, I thought what you were going to say something like, and I've been selected for head, and I didn't hear the headdresses. Wait for you to, that was just a little joke because I'm a kidder. You know that, but that is really excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you, you've seen Evan Laurence on the Triversity talent shows and on Triversity Talk as a guest. What you may or may not know about him, besides being a performer, a producer, a writer, he is an amazing designer, particularly, I mean, he could design anything, but particularly these incredible headdresses.
Thank you so much.
Crowns, yes, and you like doing crowns and things like that, right?
Crowns, but this is very different for this show. I'm creating some huge pieces that haven't even been talked about yet, and I actually have a surprise Friday night because I'm almost done with an amazing piece, which I can't show anybody because you have to come see my show in the fall at Theater for the New City.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So don't spill the beans on that headpiece, Evan. Not even a little bit. Now,
nobody knows.
Those of you who are in New York, we just finished. It was really an incredible Pride this year. I mean, the vibe was unbelievable. You know, it's been 2 years. And New York has gone through a lot during the pandemic. We can't forget that we're still not out of that yet. But you know what? Everybody turned it out for Pride this year. It was so much fun. I normally take Triversity in. We didn't do that this year. I hope next year I can do that. This year I marched with an amazing organization that I am a part of, the Imperial Court, which, Evan, you know who they are. They do so much philanthropic work. It is unbelievable. So I love being a part of them as well. And this Thursday night, which is tomorrow night. Where did the week go, Evan?
I don't know. It went so fast.
But Thursday night from 6:30 to 9, you can catch our incredible show produced by Chauncey Dandridge at Stonewall. Starts at 6:30, finishes up around 9. The name of the show, it's a fundraiser. It's called Abort the Court. And just from the title, I'm pretty sure you can figure out what the show is about. And, you know, Evan, a lot of the people that are in the show, I think you've worked with. We know a lot of them. So I'm curious how, as performers, how they take this theme and what they do with it.
I'm really excited, and I have my ticket. I can't wait to do that.
Oh, my God. Great. Oh, I need your support. You know why I need your support? Because that little tidbit about me, everybody, my mind is like a sieve. I actually write lyrics to these parodies that I do that are very funny. If only I could remember my own words. But enough about me. Speaking of somebody that knows their own words, the first time I ever saw our guest tonight was at a show at Stonewall. And he he got kind of scantily clad during his performance, but you know what I love so much about him? He sang a song about being body positive. And then I saw him perform at the Q. And then I saw him perform at Pangea recently in Colby Cole's show. And I have to tell you, major talent, young, it is all ahead of him. Okay, I want you to put your hands together for our Grammy nominated singer songwriter, J.R. Price. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Yeah, you've seen me perform a lot. Oh my God.
How did that happen? I don't understand. Like all of a sudden the universe put you in my life. Why you?
Yeah, because we're meant to be friends, Wendy. We are meant to know each other.
Same thing happened with Evan, you know, and our paths continue to crisscross.
When the universe collides.
I've been in shows with JR too.
Yeah, I know. We performed together. Yeah, like we had performed together before I met you, Wendy. So
you did, right? I remember you did that show there. Well, you know what? It's getting damn incestuous. We have to stop. We have to stop all of this. So, JR, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
What did JR stands for?
Joshua Randall Price. I don't use my full name anymore. My middle name is my father's name, and I had some family issues. So I tried to reclaim my own name and just do a JR Price. You know, it's a better pen. It's a better stage name.
Well, so. I was going to say totally. Like, that's what I figured. It was a stage name. Like Evan Lawrence's name is also a stage name, but that's his real name.
Well, I had this one guy, I was on a date one time, and this guy was like, your name is Josh? And I was like, yeah. And he was like Josh. And I was like, oh, we're not doing that. We're never going by Josh again. No. If there's one thing I can't do, it's be quiet. Like,
oh no, I know that. The first, you really, you're a talker. That's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I'm interested in what you have to say. So, this is one of the things I love. I can perform with people. I can be an audience member with people. J.R. Price, very little about you other than what I read. So take it from the top. Did you come into this world singing?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I started singing when I was 3 years old. I could sing before I could talk. I was a big fan of The Little Mermaid. So I was doing the, like I was doing that like,
oh my God, Evan, how cool was that? We love that.
Like literally, I was like
building up silky voice.
Oh, right? Thank you. I hope that's not copywritten. It's just a scale, you all. It's just a scale.
Yeah, no, it's just a scale.
But yeah, I was singing, and then at 6 years old, I wrote my first song. It was called One Step at a Time, and I wanted to be famous. I discovered at 6 years old, like what being famous was and what art was. And I was like,
discovery. Who was it at 6 years old? It was very
Britney.
Young.
It was Britney Spears. It was Britney.
Right. Oh, silly me. How could
duh. I mean, like, who else could it possibly? I mean, and I was a huge fan of music, but like, Britney came out, and it was like the first time that somebody big happened, like in my lifetime. And because all the other music I had listened to was people that were already famous, and she came out and then became this huge thing. And I was like, but nobody knew who she was like 2 days ago. And it just blew my mind.
It blew your mind that could happen. You were you rode that star with Britney.
Yeah. Because I mean, I watched like reruns of the Mickey Mouse Club when she was on it before I was, a thing. And then I was enamored, and then people knew who she was, and then people were singing her song, and I was like, wait a minute, I can do that. But I can't, because nobody's Britney Spears, But, that was the mindset at 6 years old. So I started writing my own music, and my family wasn't very supportive. They were very anti me doing art.
What was your family like? Were they blue collar? What was your family?
They're Republicans from the South.
Okay.
So they just wanted me to be a boy. My dad was like a soldier, and my grandpas were both soldiers, and everybody did the whole war thing and guns. And when it's
like army soldiers, right?
Yeah, like legit trained and like had the medals and all the things. And I'm very much anti-war. I'm a hippie, and I'm a gay man. And they put a gun in my hand at 3 years old and told me to shoot it. And I never picked up a gun again because it was the most terrifying thing. And I remember it. I remember it. At 3 years old. Yeah. Wow. And like they were having me drink beer at 3 years old, and I'm like, no, this isn't my life. Like, and so I was very much already aware that I was completely opposite. Yeah.
So, did you have like siblings that were like you, or were they more like the rest of the family?
No. So I have 2 sisters. My oldest sister, she is like a super Christian and super judgmental. She uses her religion to justify her judgment of others. Which, is not what I think religion should be about. And then my other sister, she became a drug addict and unfortunately stole from most of the family and including me, a lot of money. And I finally had to cut ties with her as well. And so I'm not really close to any of my immediate family. I do have a cousin who is bisexual and came out recently, and I'm super proud of her. And, we talk on the phone every day. She's actually going to come visit in a month and like see the city. And I'm excited to be like the only family member.
We have to make her feel welcome.
Well, yeah, you too. I'll like try to find out a way to like show her you all too. And I want her to experience everything while she's here,
That's it, Evan. We're like the everything experience.
The everything experience. Triversity Talk.
It is true. It is true.
Ourselves out to tourists. Did you ever think about that?
Oh my God, you guys! There's some money in this. You all could be like a tourist.
Oh my God, JR, you'll just represent us. This is.
I love it.
We have found a new career here. I want to get back to you. You grew up where? I don't even know what part of the country.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. So my dad's family is from West Virginia, and my mom's family is from Kentucky. And they met right there on the river of both of the states. And my dad was married to somebody else, and my mom was married to somebody else. And they had an affair and got pregnant with me, even though neither of them could have kids anymore. Like, it was this crazy story. And I was a miracle baby, but with 2 people who were cheating on their spouses. And how white trash can you be? I mean, yeah. And then we grew up poor and in Kentucky, and we moved to Texas and a bunch of other places. And I was constantly moving growing up, but all of the southern places that you could possibly think of.
The states. Wow.
Yeah, we were just too poor, I think, to like stay in one place. So we had to constantly keep going where the opportunities were or something.
How rough for you? You had to keep making new friends. And what was that like for you?
Well, I never really had a lot of friends. I mean, like I had like 1 or 2 close friends whenever I would move somewhere, and then I would move and have to start over, and it just kind of became routine. And then that I didn't really understand how much that was affecting me until I became an adult and I stopped moving. Because now it's kind of hard for me to like have friends longer than 3 months, because I'm like, oh, like we're still friends. Like you're still in my life. Like it's just kind of that is
Evan
what I had to
get
used
your
to.
Friends. We're gonna say, right, Evan? Aren't we gonna say?
Totally. But I want to know, when was your breakaway moment from all of that? Your significant breakaway moment where you became free?
Yeah, well, it's a long story. I mean, obviously it's me. But I was always into boys, obviously, and I fell in love with one who moved in with me, and I was still in West Virginia. I had dropped out of school. I went to school originally at Moorhead University in Kentucky, and I dropped out for a previous boyfriend. And, he told me that I made up the whole relationship in my head. And so I like didn't know what to do. And then this new guy came into my life and moved in, and I thought we were going to be happy. And while I was at work, he packed up all of his stuff, and I got home to a Post-it note saying, "Hope we can be friends." And I was planning our wedding. Like I was like tutoring his mom and taking care of his mom's dog. By the way, I have a massive dog allergy. And I was doing all this stuff.
Anyway.
And I did it anyway because I loved him, and he was in school to be a computer person, and I was just working at McDonald's. And I got home and he was gone. And I had given up music for him at this point. Like I wasn't songwriting because he didn't like it. And when I got home and I saw that no matter how much I tried to appease this person, like it wouldn't work. I just became the anti of like being something for other people. And I just wanted to be something for myself. and I went back to school. Well, first of all, I went through a lot of personal stuff in that time period where I like lost 200 pounds and I, got really depressed. And then I finally got better and I decided to go to school and I got my degree. I spent 5 years at the University of Kentucky. I studied theater, vocal performance, musical theater, dance, music composition. Yeah.
Wow.
My family only agreed to sign the papers because they thought I was going to study education. So I had to like lie to my family to get my degree. Yeah. And now I'm stuck with all this student loan debt and, a career in the arts. And like, what does that even mean?
Welcome to the club.
But if I didn't do it, I would have been just still working at McDonald's, so nothing wrong with fast food workers, I mean, like, still to this day, like I'm not in a above minimum wage job or anything. I just working in an environment where people are constantly berating you, whether it be the customers or the managers or the, anything really. It was just like too much. It was too much. And now that I'm an artist, I work as a coach tech guy now, but even in that, like I'm still like owning my worth because like I'm not in fast food anymore. Like I'm at a job where I can sit and like while I'm at Coach Tech, I write songs and I like work on my music promotion. And, it's really a minimum wage job, but it allows me to do my music career at the same time.
Jay, are you just on something, right? We've all had jobs like that. I had, when I first came to New York, I had every horrific promotional job you could think of. I dressed up in a chicken suit for a restaurant.
I want pictures of that.
With guys me saying nice breasts. Okay. I had every horrific job. And you think to yourself, this is never going to end, right? Because we come to New York, and this is where I'm going with this. You came to New York because why do we come here? Because I hate to use the cliche. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And also here, you can just fade into the woodwork. So many great entertainers started their careers here. So kudos to you for doing that. You got out of the McDonald's job. You're now in something, what I call the second stage job. You've had them. I've had them where, it's certainly not the be all and end all. It's some money. And you can sit there and write your music. You can sit there and leave your lines for a show. You don't feel completely worthless. And that's a good place to be.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's definitely better than Kentucky. I mean, when I visited New York for the first time, I got on the subway and nobody looked at me. And I know that people are like, oh my God, nobody looked at nobody looked at me at home or back in Kentucky or West Virginia. Whenever I would go anywhere, it was always people like filming me and like putting me on the internet to make fun of me and like stuff like that, or like making fun of me just to my face. I would walk home from school and they would throw fireworks at me and like yell flamer because I'm gay. I mean, look at me. I mean, I've always been like this. I haven't changed and I refuse to. And, when I got to New York, nobody looked at me. And I was like, oh, I belong here. Right. I'm home. And so I had to make it work. And to this day, it sucks, but it's home. And, the good and the bad and the ugly, New York is home, I love it here.
But as you said, nobody looks at you here. So you can just be yourself, do your thing. And it's funny you're saying that because I can't fathom anyone looking at you like, why would they? Evan, you too. I mean, I could see if, I don't know, you went out into the suburbs with one of your headdresses on, Evan, people might look, but like, who cares in New York? You can,
No, I went to Vermont and it was just my bald head and some earrings. And maybe I always wear my Native American necklaces. And people were looking at me like I was a freak. I was like, why is this happening in Vermont?
Yeah, in Vermont.
Change.
No, anywhere but New York, honestly. Like I tried to move all kinds of places, and New York is the only place I can really be really me.
Yeah, you can fit. I remember Evan telling me this story about Vermont. Now that you brought that up, I was so weirded out by this story. I was like, why would people think you're a perfectly normal person? You weren't even wearing a crown. Were you wearing a crown?
Nope. Just
Just earrings and a necklace. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in Nashville, I wore these. I just wore some regular shorts, and I tried to go to a club, and the bouncer was like, "If you go in here, people are gonna try to attack you." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "I mean, you're obviously a homosexual." And I was like, I was wearing a button down and some shorts, y'all." And this was last year. This was when I was like homeless during the
We
pandemic.
don't know how, because I was born in the Bronx. I grew up here. And other than going a few other places, and I work in Africa and places like that, I don't leave the Northeast. I really don't ever.
Yeah, don't. There's no need to.
Yeah.
When I hear this stuff, it just really blows my mind.
It's really sad. And I mean, that's why I try so hard and fight so hard to just be really me all the time. Because I just hope there's somebody listening somewhere that's like, whoa, he refused to be anybody else. And like, it doesn't matter what these people are saying. I got out of that trailer, and I hope that I inspire somebody else to get out of their trailer. That's all I can strive to do.
They are all over the country. Yeah. There's some kid living in a trailer that's writing music, that's singing music, that is a kid that sticks out in school and doesn't fit in. They are everywhere. And one of the reasons I do this show is I want that out there. I want those kids to hear it. So people know they are not alone. They're not. They're just living in the wrong place.
Yeah, you're helping.
Exactly.
Normalize them too. I mean, when I lived on an Indian reservation for like 3 years, and the people there were, they were like 400 pounds, maybe some of them like 300 to 500 pounds, and they'd always joke that I was as big as one of their legs. And these were all my friends, and they were
really tiny
people. and I never, we never saw that. They joked and stuff, but we never saw that difference in each other, and we're really close. I mean,
but, Evan, when you had spoken about the Indian reservation, right? That was the fact that you discovered yourself there and you had the support there. That was your happy place. That was like you coming to New York and fitting. You fit there. You had people that got you and got behind you and wanted to take you under their wing.
But Indian reservation
was so different there. I had to move back to New York. I just have to end with that. So
you did have to move back to New York.
I did. After a while, it was really hard to make friends in this. It was Idaho, Southeast Idaho. I mean,
oh yeah,
and I'm a New Yorker most of my life, so it's like.
That's right. We New Yorkers now, JR, you're now a New Yorker too. So we really don't fit anywhere.
I really don't. I tried to go back home during the pandemic because I became homeless, and I tried to move back to Kentucky, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. It was too much, and I am too old.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you became homeless during the pandemic. What happened?
Several times over. Broadway shut down. I'm a coat check guy at Hamilton on Broadway, and it shut down with no notice. I was literally on like a block away from going to my job, and I got the email saying that Broadway was canceled. I have no savings because I'm the coat check guy. Like, I don't have any money, and my family doesn't support me at all, even when I'm begging. And I had nothing. And so I didn't know what to do. I had to move out of my apartment because rent was due in 2 weeks, and I literally can't pay rent without my last 2 checks in the month.
Right. You live that close to the cuff, as we say.
I literally live at penny to penny, not even check to check. Like, I have to balance how much water I can drink. And so those last 2 checks didn't come in, and I had to move in with one of my producers, and then she had to leave New York because of the pandemic. Right. And so I was homeless again, and I tried to go back home to my sister, the preachy one. Yeah. And obviously not the drug addict who stole from me, but the preachy one. And I went to her house, and she preached at me for 2 weeks and then kicked me out because I was wearing, I was doing an online charity concert And I was wearing a J.R. Price outfit, which you know what they look like. You all see me perform.
Yes.
And I go downstairs to like put up the speaker after the show, and we raised like a lot of money for people suffering of COVID. And she's a nurse. And instead of being like, how did the charity go? Or did you raise money or anything like that? Like any normal person would ask, she was like, are we just not going to say anything about what you're wearing? And I was like, oh, wrong thing to say to me. Like, and this is after Body Positive is out. Like, this is already, the brand is established. Like, I am 30, you know, and
right, you're 30 and you are who you are.
Exactly. Like, it's too late. There's no change. I'm 30. I'm 32 now, you know. And she was like, are we just not going to say anything about what you're wearing? And I just knew that there was never going to be a universe in which we could figure out our problems. And then she like told me I had to leave. That was too much of a burden. And then it just dwindled down from there. And then every place I stayed, it's just too much. It was a pandemic, you know, and, you know, I'm a human being. And even though I was getting my unemployment checks still, and I was like paying for stuff, just asking for like a couch to sleep on is too much for people. And, you know, my father has an apartment above his garage, right? And he has 3 empty bedrooms in his house, which he gave me a video tour on Thanksgiving. And I was like, I have nowhere to go. And he's giving me a video tour of his huge house and, you know, this apartment above his garage. And like, you know, he's well-to-do and this huge house, and he has 2 dogs and they have all these medical bills that he pays for. And I'm like, I'm your son and I'm homeless. And he told me there wasn't room for me at his house. And I was just like, I don't know how to come back from that. And I put all of my pennies together. I borrowed from people. I owe a bunch of people money to this day, and I moved back to New York because I couldn't figure out any way to sustain my life without my coat check job.
Right.
And you know, that's not even sustainable. It's been really hard, and I don't think that people judge me a lot because, you know, I'm somebody with a degree and I'm white, so apparently I should be able to like get a job that's better than the one I have, but I can't, and I try, and I work my ass off. I'm allowed to say that. I work my butt off.
No, you're allowed. You know, you're totally allowed to say that. And you know what? You're talking about something. I'm not a person that says, "Well, damn it, pull yourself up by your bootstraps."
Yeah,
you have one job. Okay, you're putting it out there. We need to help you get another job, and all of us know enough people that we need to put that out there because I
got to figure it out. I don't mean to make a whole show about that either. I don't know.
But the show is about you. The show is about you. And if anybody here gets to hear you sing, which they are going to in like 30 seconds, okay, they'll understand why we just all got to get behind you like a breath of wind, the wind beneath your wings, and keep you going. Okay.
And honestly, I just want people to hear my music. I think that is more important to me. I know it's not smart of me to be like, just listen to my music, but like, just listen to my music. That's really all I care about, you know?
Yeah. And I know why. So we're going to play your video, Tiny. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, we are going live. We are live. What's up with your favorite rapper, Half Dollar, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, but don't sleep on me. Call me a mattress, but don't sleep on me. You know what I'm saying? Bars for days, bars for days. Let's talk about those crazy exes that won't leave you alone. But I guess when you're slinging it right, they don't want to leave you alone. Got that big D, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, I see the comments blowing up. Well, just so you know, we got some new music, but that's not why I brought you guys here today. I just wanted to talk about something crazy. You know, those crazy exes that are obsessed with you. You hear me, J.R. Price, obsessed with you, won't leave you the hell alone because the way I've been slinging it like that, when you got that big D that they're just obsessed with. But don't worry, I move in silence. I move in silence. You're tiny.
More than money he was stealing, he touched my heart and I start feeling he was in for the killing. Stabbed my chest and left me chilling. Gives cold a new meaning. Abandon me, don't care, I'm bleeding. 5 words and seeing. He lied to me, he's so deceiving. He don't know what I do know, and he won't go where I would go. He don't even reap the seeds he sowed. He will never grow, 'cause he's tiny, so tiny. Wrap him up and make him shiny. Tiny, so tiny. Gotta get this boy behind me. Tiny, so tiny. His words won't define me. Can someone stop the crying? He left me so. A few weeks later I see him, already died, but pretend I'm living. All his words are itching, and all the pain I'm not forgetting. Every night we were kissing, said things to me that I'm still missing. Pennies aren't for wishing, they're just the way his knife keeps sticking. He don't see what I do see, the way I cry now I can't breathe. He don't even care what he meant to me. I'm a casualty, 'cause he's tiny, so tiny. Wrap him up and make him shiny. Tiny, so tiny. Gotta get this boy behind me. Tiny, so tiny. His words won't define me. Can someone stop the crying? He left me so. So tiny, oh. He's holding you like he held me, like he held him. He's holding you like he held me, like he held him. He's holding you like he held me, like he held him. So tiny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You are major.
Beautiful.
I mean, my husband's sitting here and
Do you
he's
like it?
beyond like it. Well, first of all, he sent you your video from your performance.
I love Alan.
and
Alan's so
Gia,
great.
which he edited, but more than that, he's like major talent. Major talent. So JR Price,
Thank you.
we all have to get behind you and keep you going. You are absolutely a major talent. Now I have a bunch of questions
trying.
about the video.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
of all, let me give a shout out to our friend Alex Kelso, Satanya Face.
Satanya Face, right? Can you imagine? Like,
Yeah.
It's
putting
in
on the
the video.
persona of this character. Satanya Face, for those watching, is the person who plays Half Dollar, the rapper at the beginning.
I
But that
don't-
rapper is also a drag queen in New York who does spoken word and eloquent, beautiful superstar.
Oh.
Thank God I cast Alex before I saw his one-man show, because I saw his one-man show, Unicorn Who Discovered Self-Love, at Don't Tell Mama a few weeks ago. And it was mind-blowing, incredible. The amount of talent this human being has is just like, I'm just so glad I didn't know before the video, because I would have not been able to act with somebody who's that good.
Oh
Like,
my God. So you cast him and you had no idea. Well, first of all, an amazing
Yeah.
performer, amazing spoken word, amazing drag actor. And you know what? An incredible human being with a heart like that.
Yeah, incredible. Just one of the best people I've met in New York, honestly.
Big surprise for me when I was watching the video. Well, I watched it before I saw it on the show, but I'm like, oh my God, there's Satanya. So first of all, I love the video. Now, you wrote the whole storyline for the video too?
I did. I storyboarded the whole thing. I wanted to confront all the rumors. There's a lot of rumors going on about me being obsessed and crazy over my ex or whatever for writing a heartbreak album, as if that's not what a songwriter writes about. I don't know. But I wrote this, video because I wanted to just be like, you know what? If everybody thinks I'm crazy, then I'm just going to be the craziest that I could possibly be. I had recently saw, I don't know if you're Marvel fans, but WandaVision.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Multiverse of Madness, and just the Scarlet Witch energy of my life right now. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to embrace it and go full on Scarlet Witch. And I incorporated a bunch of stuff stuff for the video to pay homage to a lot of different things about my life. Like I lost my theater professor, Russell Henderson, in November. And he was the first father figure I had who believed in me. And I wanted to pay tribute to him. And when I was in a production of Hair, which he directed, he told me about how the hippies lived in Central Park and how, gay people would go and hook up in the forest and escape from the hippie tent and like go do their thing. And I wanted to, give caution to that kind of lifestyle of like hookups and everything that Russell taught me about, and how dangerous it can be. And I wanted to do that and then also tell this heartbreak story and then also just kind of prove that like all men are tiny and not to let a man make you feel tiny. So I really needed to show
message. Yes.
Yeah. It's like this douchebag at the beginning of the video who is full of himself and not concerned about how much he hurt J.R. Price. And then I step out of magic nowhere and just put him in his place and go, you know what, actually, no matter how little you make me feel, you are so much just tinier. And yeah,
you're a speck.
You're a speck. You're that little in the gravel, like in the indentation at the end. Like that's how little you are if you can't see how much pain you've caused me or own up to it or care about it.
Oh, and
yeah,
in that white lace shirt, I have to say that was so effective.
Isn't it wonderful?
I'm living for that shirt.
Well, I wanted the white lace because I wear the white lace after he's been tiny, right? Like that whole white lace outfit is me singing over his tiny body. And I wanted it to be like, because I am pure. I did nothing wrong. I am innocent. Right. I wanted white lace because I am innocent in this whole situation. And the only red on me is the jacket that he was wearing. Because what's left is the damage that he left me with, that he won't own up to. And here I am with the damage of this red coat over my white lace.
Damage. What was the role of the two women in the video?
So those are my witch sisters. And because we need a coven like Hocus Pocus, there's 3 sisters. But their significance is actually I wanted the 3 different sides of me to approach all aspects of the heartbreak, because there's still that inner child, which is my blonde friend Katie, and she's like having fun the whole time. And then Autumn plays the matronly sister who is more seductive and sassy, and just that prowess and that ambition that I developed as I got older, that side of me.
And constantly being older.
Yeah, that constantly getting older. And I wanted this like inner child and my future self, and then who I am presently dealing with the damage, to come together to shrink the men who have made me feel tiny. And it's not just about Half Dollar or whoever Half Dollar may or may not represent. It's about every man who has ever put me down or belittled me or told me. It's about my father in some ways, it's about all those people, and it's about all those people for everybody. Like if somebody is making you feel tiny, like it's because they're tiny, because no person who has a self-worth is going to make somebody else feel small, and I just want people to hear that.
There are a lot of people that will do that. But one very important theater game I learned, and Evan, you do improv, so I know you probably know this one, status, where you're in a scene with someone and you have to come up with creating your own lines of making yourself bigger than they are. It's a great theater game, JR, because you can use it in life a lot. It never ceases to amaze me, because not at this stage, because I walk in and like, don't mess with me, right? But my God, when I was your age, forget it. And to learn how to make yourself bigger, status, right? You have to be able to one up. You have to be able to hold your own. And psychologically,
I can't do that. That's what I'm bad at. I downplay even my achievements. Yeah.
I totally hear you. But you know what? That is something that can become a learned behavior. When you say to yourself, hey, I was Grammy nominated. Hey, I came from a trailer. I got to New York. I'm an artist. I am getting put in shows all over here. I mean, your first album, Daydream, you have your song Body Positive, made you a gay icon internationally. You have to repeat these lines to yourself all the time.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, I'll write the script for you, but you have to get up. And, me too, even now. I have the mantras that I have to say to myself, because if we let those people in the world rain on our parade or distract us or put us down, it stops us from doing our greatness. You don't want that to happen.
That's true. That's really good advice. Thank you, Wendy. Yeah, it's hard because it's because of my upbringing, right? Like it all goes back to that. And I'm in therapy and it does obviously all go back to that. But like it's because I'm constantly trying to impress people to make them love me. And when I do something impressive and they're not impressed by it, I'm like, oh, it wasn't enough. So that sucks. Instead of being like, that's still awesome, even if they're not impressed by it, and I get
but you know what? You're writing the script for them. Why are you writing this script for them? And the script in JR's script, you do this great thing and they turn around and say, oh my God, thank you so much for doing that. This is amazing.
You're right. Well, nobody's going to do that. Yeah.
You're looking at a script writer right here. And that is a hard thing. That was hard for me to shake, but it's what, we call expectations, what we expect from somebody else, but it's not real. It's what we're expecting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't define you. It doesn't define me. It doesn't define Evan.
His words won't define me.
Right.
Well, I think also that we're talking about healing here, our own self-healing. And I've been through mental abuse as a kid. I have my own problems, and I've used my own spiritual ways, even meditations, to self-heal. And the thing about showbiz is that your successes should be like a salve to heal you. The pleasing people, which is a problem I used to have really bad, just really trying to please people and get them to be my friends. And I don't do that anymore. And they're, as a showbiz person, there are going to be jealousies that follow you, of course, and fake friends. And, but the thing is, apply those successes like a healing salve, and hold them in your heart. And it's like, I did that. Good job.
Right.
Yeah, I wish I could. I'm getting there. I'm trying.
I can tell you're doing a lot of self-work and you are getting there. And that's the next step for you, because you know what? The freaking talent is there. It's there. It's not something that they have to pull out, that you've got to work on. It's there. The core is there, and it's happening. And you don't want this other stuff to get in the way. Think of yourself as an onion. You're peeling off those layers, and inside is this amazing, beautiful core. And when you reach that core, that's when you're going to reach your phoenix. And it's going to happen sooner than later. We just got to keep you going.
We just got, girl, your mouth to God's ears. Like, I need to figure out my motivations. I'm a whole new person post-pandemic and post everything I've been through. And I have to figure out what is my motivation to keep going? Like, what am I doing it for? I think this album was my 5 stages of grief, right? And I was grieving, losing the relationship, and losing Russell and losing my family and losing all this stuff. But in a way, I'm kind of like at the acceptance stage and ready to look forward and what I can make with my new chapter. Right. Because that is all the past. And I've officially let it go. I shaved my head. I was so afraid of being bald, and I shaved my head, and I'm ready to look forward to the future. But now I've had to burn so many bridges to get to a place where I actually value myself, that I don't really know what the future has in store for me. So hearing this feedback is really helpful, and thank you so much, because I feel like I'm not getting a lot of encouragement right now. So it's really lovely to hear it.
None of us know honestly what the future has, seriously. And come on, the pandemic should have shown each and every I know a few friends that got through unscathed, kept their high paying jobs, got to work out of their home. You know what? That wasn't for me. I lost my biggest account and I had to totally reinvent myself. And you know how I did it? I was freaking pissed. Okay, because I'm not your age. I'll never see your age again, or 10 years from that, or 10 years from that. And it's like, how dare they do this to me? I built this whole world. How dare they pull the rug out from under you? But what did each and every one of us learn? You got to reinvent yourself. Okay. Anyone can lose anything at any time. But guess what? You can't lose yourself.
I Have Me is the last song on my album. I Have Me.
There you go. I am me. All right. And at the end of the day, honey, that's all you have. Evan, that's what you have. And that's what I have. That's what we have to bring to the
and
world.
new friends too, because good people are good, positive people. Because we're people who like to hang out and have fun and don't really want anything from each other but our company.
Yeah. Our company and our creativity.
And our creativity.
With each other. Right.
Well, that's the way friends should be, right? Like that's what friends, I don't know. I feel like other people want more or expect more. I don't know.
But you know what?
I don't know if I'm feeling. I don't know how I'm feeling people right now. I don't know. Maybe I'm not.
But you know what, honey, take a breath. Okay, go out there. You're getting booked in people's a big breath. Let it out. Create a bubble around J.R. Price, right?
Yeah.
Listen, you're getting booked in people's shows, here in New York, and it is tough here. There are so many talented people. It continually blows me away. But you're going to keep on out there. You're going to, do your art, promote yourself.
Yeah.
And the best thing you can do, and Evan really said it, you have to surround yourself with other people. When people say, oh, I need people that can help me, you don't need people that can help you. You need people that are on the same wavelength that you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
That can infuse you with positive energy.
That's all we need.
And you know what? I just got my 4-minute warning here.
4 minutes.
Mama gets on here so
this
fast.
This is fast.
Did she? I didn't go so fast. And he said 4-minute warning.
I can talk to you all forever. This went by so quickly.
I just real quick before we get your mission statement, I want you to just talk about your song "Dance with Me," the duet with the gay bear icon Tom
Goss. Tom Goss is my hero. First of all, he did a song called "Bears" in 2009. I want to say maybe 12.
That was a great song.
Yeah, and it was the first time I saw people of a larger size being sexy in a music video, and like way before Lizzo or Meghan Trainor. Right. And I was like, oh my God, like there's a whole world for me. And whenever I was doing my first album that I was going to officially put out, I was working with Freddie Freeman and he knew Tom. And I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if like somebody could sing this as a duet with me? Like somebody big, like Tom Goss or somebody. And he was like, you mean Tom? And he just like emailed Tom, and literally by like 3 hours later, Tom was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. Because Tom is the nicest human being alive. He's honestly genuine and a hero, and he loves everyone and he cares so much. And he has never once said no to me or asked me for anything. He just constantly gives. And I'm not worthy, I'm just nobody from a trailer in Kentucky. And I
am never going to let you say that again. Because
never. Well, at the time, this was, before my Body Positive song even came out. Like this was when I was,
at your
literally, yeah. And he just said yes, and he sang the song that I wrote and did not make any diva changes. And he actually helped it. He added some harmonies. He changed the string section. He made it really special. And that song is just one of the most beautiful songs I think I've written. And to have like my hero on it with me, supporting me, and Freddie Freeman, produced it, who was another hero of mine. And it was just like kind of coming together to like give me the life I wanted. Because at the time I wanted to be like a gay bear, pop star. Right. And so I was like, oh, this is gonna get me there. And it was really amazing. And it's just such a beautiful song. I actually wrote it about the ex who left me with the Post-it note to tie it back to the beginning.
I love it, of course.
The day before that, we actually had our final dance, and that song is about me reflecting in that moment of when I thought we were happy. And in my most recent relationship, the same thing happened. I had the one day of happiness, and then it was all ripped away the next day. So it's before everything goes away, dance with me.
this is a whole other show. Why this happens? It's a whole, I have to have you back because it's a whole other show. Okay, you've got less than 60 seconds left.
Yeah.
All your handles.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at jrpriceless5eva because forever is too short. And you can follow me on YouTube. I stole that from Girls 5 Eva, my favorite song, or my favorite show. 60 seconds. Follow me on TikTok at jrpriceless5eva. Follow me on Facebook at jrprice. You can go to my website, jrprice.org, for all of the links to everything. And watch my music. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. Just JR Price. My new album is called Nightmare, and it's available on all platforms.
Love it. And JR Price, thank you. Evan Laurence, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Happy
Oh my gosh.
Pride,
Thank
everybody.
you.
No,
Happy Pride.
And thank
Great
you all
talk.
for joining us tonight on Triversity Talk. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
I love you.